Next video. Today we're going to meet David. Hi, David.
Hi, Bob.
And we're going to meet one of my favorite types of rigs, which is a cargo trailer. As you know, I'm a big fan of cargo trailers, lived in one for a while. And so we'll check it out and maybe it will become your new favorite. Who knows? We'll find out. So David, welcome to the channel.
Thank you.
And how are you full-time on the road?
Oh, yeah.
And how long have you been?
It's been 16 months.
Very good. That's a good long while now.
Yeah.
And have you been in the cargo trailer the whole time?
Yeah. Yeah. The one big change is until 2 weeks ago today, I have twin boys, 28 years old, and one of them, Will, was on the road with me.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, yeah. Put him on a train in Barstow. He's now with his twin brother in Binghamton, New York. And so in terms of adjustment period, you know, I've heard about that from different videos and people getting used to road life. I had none. From the start, it's been fantastic. But this is an adjustment because I have never lived by myself.
So after 16 months, and now you're on your own, what do you think? Are you going to keep doing it?
Oh, right from the start. I'll tell you, I said there was no adjustment period. Part of it is probably I camped my whole life.
Right.
And I mean my whole life. And it was what I love doing most anyway. And when we first, Empire Ranch, I don't know if you've been there, south of Benson. It's near the Mexican border and really neat place. But I still remember stepping out my first day and just stretching out and saying, I'm home.
Yeah.
That's how it felt right from the start for me.
And so people say often, will probably ask you, how can you live in such a small space? And my answer is, it's a tiny space, but I got an enormous backyard.
There you go.
And I'd rather have that.
Exactly, exactly. And I have you to thank. I know you've heard that one before, but originally at a big old farmhouse in rural Wisconsin, and was just looking to downsize. And I stumbled on a Bob Wells video, CheapRVLiving, about living on the road. And a dozen or so videos in, I found myself saying out loud to myself, if this isn't for me, I don't know who it's for. and so instead of downsizing to just a smaller house, did a little more downsizing.
Yeah, yeah.
And definitely, touch wood, no regrets at all on it. It's been fantastic.
That is cool. I love to hear that. I can't hear that enough.
In fact, I actually have you to thank also for my choice of rigs. It was your, what was it, 10 reasons to choose a cargo trailer?
Right.
In fact, I just went back and watched that the other day and said, yeah, that's why I did it.
And you mentioned earlier that you had written a book about your transition and your travels.
Yep, the first year.
So tell us about that.
I kind of, because there's so many different, from YouTube videos and books and things, there's so many different ones. I wanted to try to write it from a little different perspective, and it was more what to consider when you're considering living on the road kind of thing, to try to give people a little closer to an experiential kind of feel. And so that was kind of the thrust of it, but basically just, a brief sketch of where I came from and background of my life, and then talked about the different choices for what to live in on the road, and went into, of course, detail on this and what I did with it.
So tell us the name of the book and how people can find it.
Well, thanks. It's called Boondocking America, Finding Bliss on a Shoestring.
That's a great title.
Well, thank you, because that's really what I did. And that's part of why I love the cargo trailer so much also, is because compared to anything manufactured, especially new, you pay 2 to 3 times as much for something that's not, as you say, I'm playing Bob now, but something that's not as well built or insulated.
And so you're towing it with, is that the car you had, your daily driver? So you
I had an old vehicle. I was due for a new one anyway, but I bought it with this in mind also. It's a Nissan Pathfinder. It's a 6-cylinder, but it's one of the highest tow ratings. I think it was 5,000 pounds.
Wow.
It's rated at.
Yeah.
And I like that because I can unhitch, and it gets 25 miles a gallon when not towing, and I can go explore all I want and not have to worry about, gallons per mile. instead.
So tell us a little bit about the trailer. What's the model and size and all of that?
Oh, let's see. It's a 7x14 single axle, as you see, with a V nose in it. And oh, I think that about covers it, doesn't it?
Do you mind if I ask what you paid for it?
From what I understand, I got a pretty good deal. It was a little under $3,200.
That it does seem like a good deal for that big of a trailer.
Yeah, it really wasn't that much more than 6x12s.
Well, I see you chose the drop-down back door. Let's take a look at that and tell us why.
Well, I think you're looking at why. Increases from 84 square foot to 109 square foot.
Right.
I liked this idea, and I almost broke my arm patting myself on the back because I thought of using it as a deck all by myself, and then I saw several videos where people did the same thing.
Boy, this looks really nice in here.
Well, thanks.
It's really homey feeling.
That's yeah. I didn't want the custom built, everything bolted down. I mean, not custom built, rather manufactured in Indiana. Maybe start with things we learned the hard way. And when we first left, it was December 9th of 2019, I believe, that my son and I left Wisconsin, and we had to get out because a snowstorm was on the way. We had already sold our house, and we were living in a trailer behind my next door neighbor's house, and while getting this ready. And I was very fortunate to have, because I'm not the handiest guy in the world by any stretch, persistent, but not the handiest. And he was a great next door neighbor for 30 years in that he was the handiest. And he knew how to weld. And so he put the windows in for us. I helped, held the screws and things like that for him. But he did all the skilled labor. I'm guessing, I mean, he wired it. He mounted 2 LP tanks on the front and put in all the windows. And for a total of $800, and I'm guessing that would have been probably $2,000 at least.
Yeah.
But even if I had to have paid full price on that, I would have, especially for the big window. That for me was a must.
Yeah. Boy, and that is just gorgeous.
Yeah. I love the views. I have a collection of sunsets I've taken out that window, for that matter, pictures. I did mention tonight that we were getting out ahead of a snowstorm, so we threw things together in a hurry, and it was not done when we hit the road, which turned out to be a great thing, because one of the things I had planned on doing, you see the little exhaust fan over here. Mm-hmm. I was going to put in just a bathroom and a shower stall just in this one little area, mm-hmm. and found once we were on the road, like the open space better. It would have impeded the view out the back.
Sure.
And everything. So I like having it just like this. And in terms of insulation, maybe it's because of 30 consecutive Wisconsin winters in an old drafty farmhouse, but I might have got a little carried away. 1.5 inches on the walls and 2 inches on the ceiling.
Well, it feels just like a living room in here.
That's what I
mean, you've got a recliner and a couch. Yep.
This was my son Will's bed. Not sure if it's going to stay. Now, the dog Babe sure likes it.
Yeah, your dog likes it, yeah. What a great home for him.
Yeah, and again, it's just a cot with a, the pad, memory foam pad on it. Mm-hmm. So simple, inexpensive, lightweight, storage space underneath. So I may well keep it. Yeah. They're the 3 components that I said that I need to be happy and live well. Actually 4. But one of them is something I can stand up in.
Right.
I did want something big enough to stand up in. And that's one for me. And I've learned, I never spent this much time in the desert, really hardly any time. Well, I traveled a lot in the desert Southwest, not much at all. And I did not realize how windy it gets. Mm-hmm. And there can be, sometimes several days on end where the wind's just howling. And it's nice to be able to have this big a space to be in and this big window to look out at the beautiful howling wind. Right. Right. I did say 4 things. One was standing up, the recliner, the window, and the TV. I said, that's all I need. And I'm happy. And, the TV's on a swivel. you know, that it comes out, and I'm just right there in my element. I'm happy
Right.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's really important that you know what your standard of comfort is.
Yeah.
And it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
And there's never a right or wrong. It's just what you need.
Yeah, exactly. And
you're almost a no-build build.
Exactly.
Very little carpentry.
Exactly, which works for me because I'm not the handiest guy in the world. I did this, that's about it. You know, a sheet of plywood to fit into the nose, and this is the kitchen area. You know, 2-burner sink that I never use. Do a little peek at,
sure,
know, hide all the ugliness. Yeah, I went with that's the Wave 3 heater under there, and I really like that for the radiant heat. It's a very comfortable heat. Just pull it right out.
They're my favorite.
Yeah, and then cleaning supplies and some produce and stuff underneath. You know, there's plenty of room for storage, which I like underneath. And there's my battery. It's called a Nature's Generator, is the brand name on it, and it's 1,800 watt hours, less than 800 watts max though on it.
So one of the questions I have to ask is, how do you go to the bathroom and how do you shower?
Oh, the camp toilet. That's one thing I was thinking too. Basically what I've done is I've taken everything you talk about van life and applied it to this. With the exception of the cargo trailer, I do everything that you recommend for folks living in a van. I find it's the simplest, including the pump shower. You know, it's $30. You know, pump it up. I took a shower. It's just a camp toilet. It's right up front there. Move that.
Just a
tucked out under
hassock, I think they call those.
The most skill I applied to it was putting in the countertop in the front, and everything. The bottom line, and this, when I say everything, I mean I've got a gas generator, the solar, you know, and everything you've seen and everything. A total of under $8,000. Refrigeration and all, everything from starting from scratch to ready to hit the road. Is the refrigeration, and my other solar, and another one I'll give a caution on, the Jackery. It's been good, but it's done. And
oh, there's a generator.
Yeah, a Generac.
Oh yeah,
really like that, and it's a good security blanket to have. That way, you always have power. Another option I chose was to not mount the panels on the roof. And if I had more electric, more solar, and I had to move 2 or 3 or 4 panels all the time, that might be different. But I find you can get the most out of it because you can turn it throughout the day facing it.
Well, David, thank you so much for sharing your home and your life with us, your story. I know you've inspired a lot of people and given them real hope.
I sure hope. And thank you, Bob. Thanks for coming out and for all you do.
Thank you.
You've been informative and inspirational for me and countless others on the road. And you are deserving of the love you get, that's for sure.
Thank you. So folks, I know you've been inspired by this. If so, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later.
There you go.
Bye now.